In this video, I'll show you the rest of the process for making your audiovisual essay in iMovie 09. I'll cover how to add subtitles and transitions, how to adjust how each photo appears and how long it displays, and how to export your audiovisual essay so that you can share it with others. The first thing I'll show you is how to add subtitles, which is optional, but you might find it helpful if you want to identify some aspect of a photo. Here's an example of one kind of subtitle showing you the type of horse this is. Here's another one I made, just giving a little subtitle, describing Sassy and Chloe. The way you add subtitles is go to the title box, the same place that you found the title cards, and that the bottom two rows of title cards are actually subtitle cards. So you can drag any of these onto a photo. I'll pick one that I haven't illustrated up there. I guess I'll get this soft bar white here. And just drag it on top of a photo and let it go. And then you'll see that you have the ability to type text right there. So you can, whatever information you think would be useful for viewers, you can type it there. You can adjust the font just like you can on the title cards and the size and so forth, and then click done. And then you can see how that sort of appears with the photo. The text for it's up here in this little blue ribbon, so if you want to change the text, you can click on the blue ribbon and that gets you back to this editing window. You can also adjust how long the blue ribbon appears. So if I'm just dragging the end of it and sort of making it smaller, and then I'm moving it to the middle of the photo. So the reason for doing that is if I do that, then the photo will show for a little bit, the subtitle will pop up and then disappear before the photo disappears. So transitions are effects that ease the viewer from one image to the next. Here's a few samples. This is just your basic dissolve. There we go. I'm going to turn my audio down since you can hear the audio in the background there. Here's another one, sort of a zoom kind of thing going on there, from a horse into Sassy. Here's a ripple, a circle, a swap, and so forth. So you can play around with all of those. I recommend that you stick mostly to this one, the blur. It's the most subtle and it won't annoy people. You can play with the others, but something like if you used it between every photo, people would it would drive them crazy. So use those kind of things carefully, like maybe only between big major sections of your paper or something like that. So where you find the transitions is back here over in the media browser area. Click the icon next to the title card icon, and here are the transitions. You can put your mouse over to see what the different options do. There's the page curl effect, it's kind of cool, and mosaic in the box and all that kind of stuff. So you just grab one and drag it between the pictures. And you can just sort of grab and drag as often as you want. If you decide you want to change one, like, oh, I actually meant to put this one here, you can just drag it on top of the old one and it'll replace it with the new one. The next thing to do is adjust the appearance of your photos. And that describes things like whether or not the photo is still or whether it moves. So see how this one's moving a little bit, so the photo's coming closer to us, and then this one doesn't move. So those are basically your options. That one's moving closer to us, and I think that one is too, but then I think some of the other ones aren't moving. So that's your choice. You click the blue drop down and go down to cropping, Ken Burns, and rotation options. The way to make the image move is to use the Ken Burns option, and that gives you a green box to say where the image, the focus point of the image should start, and then a red box to say where it should end. So that's going to start focused in on her face and then back out to the bigger picture. You could switch the order of that if you'd rather do it the other way. You can click the play button to see what that's actually going to look like. And then if that's what you were wanting, you can click done, and that'll be that. It will have adjusted the image accordingly. Now, if you have an image where the there's only a person's face maybe in one part of it, and you don't necessarily want to sort of pan past the person's face, then you might not want to use the Ken Burns effect for that image. Let's see this image here. So it's got that little bit of Ken Burns effect, and you could play with it with an in and out or a side to side panning kind of a thing, but that'd be a little weird for the image to go past Sassy's face and not show that anymore. So I would actually, for this image, say that fitting would be better. If the image has a bunch of extra stuff in it you don't actually want, you can also click crop, pick what it is you actually want to show up in your slideshow, and click done, and then it'll show just the cropped portion. It won't actually crop the original photo. It's just cropping what shows up. So that's how you do photo effects. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is how to set the display time. That's the last stage in the editing process because it's in some ways the most time consuming, and you'll have to fiddle with it quite a bit to get everything to line up just right. So the way you decide how long something should, or the way you set how long it should display is, again, using this drop down box, clip adjustments, and then you put the time in seconds. So you've seen this before, but you figure out, is it 10 seconds, is it a minute? If you want to do a minute, you can do 1:00, and that'll make it a minute. I think I'll make this 10 seconds and say done. So you'd want to make the time adjustments to the title card, for example. This one's showing up as 6 seconds. That may not be quite long enough. The subtitle or the subheader card, you can adjust the time on that. The credits card, and so forth. So I made this scrolling credits card show up for about, I think, 11 or 12 seconds because it's got a lot of stuff on it. So there you can see what that looks like. I put the names of the horses and dogs in the pictures and the photographers and so forth. So you can control the time that everything displays. And then actually what you can see here is worth mentioning is I've created a title card for the works cited. So imagine that this essay cited Wilkins, It's Your Gender Stupid. So that would be a works cited card for that. And then I also added a card for the resources. For more information about gender and sexuality, visit the Rhetoric of Gender and Sexuality site. So that's optional, but might be a nice touch. So now you're ready to share your movie with us as a draft or later on as a final version. You come up here to share, drag down to export movie, choose mobile if it's a draft, medium if it's maybe a second draft or revision, and then for the final project you might choose large. You'll see up here that you get the chance to give it a name for the exported file. So give that a name that's actually got your last name in it and information and so forth, and no spaces. So, and you can say, put it on your desktop or whatever, and then click export. I'm not going to export this right now. But once it's exported, go over to where you saved it, double click on it, check it out, make sure the audio is good all the way through, the video is good all the way through. If it looks good, then you're ready to post the file. So it'll end in .m4v or .mov, either is fine, and you can just upload that to Google Docs and we'll be ready to take a look at it. So that's it for how to finish up your audiovisual essay.